How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today's video is a little bit messing around, but I do end up doing a mission, the railway bridge mission. I was testing some of these max pack, like scout pack or whatever it's called. Yeah, I was messing around with this 8-wheel one. I was seeing if I could do like a 360 under the trailer. In theory, you could, like it'd fit. That's what she said. And yeah, but it just, for whatever reason, like when you got to about 180, it sort of had some invisible tension on the trailer. So then I set off with a bit more of a normal trailer. It's the off-road version, so at least it sits a bit higher. Went to Cargo Creation Zone 1 to grab a couple of metal beams I decided on in the end. Yeah, kind of like I said, just started messing around really. Just wanted to go and grab any sort of cargo to test it out. It's pretty cool that at least it's got a saddle on its roof. I believe as well I equipped the saddle high, but it was letting me put these trailers on as well. So it appears that, I don't know, it'll just let you have either. It was going well at first, and then as you can see there, every now and then, like where the trailer attaches to the loaf, it's almost like it locks in place, so you don't really, like, you lose some of your ability to sort of rotate independently of the trailer. But yeah, then going across here, I was pretty surprised, to be honest, because cutting this river's usually a pain in the arse, especially when you've got a full load of cargo. Whereas, even though it does have a tendency to wheelie a bit, there is also, I did find, the weighted front bumpers for this thing, instead of being in, like, the front bumper section, it's if you go into the add-on section, so where you add, like, the saddle low, etc. Yeah, there's different bumpers you can put on the front that weigh quite a lot, really. When you haven't got any cargo, it sort of, like, the nose is very heavy pointing towards the floor, but once you'd actually be loaded with cargo, it'd, yeah, I think it'd balance out pretty nicely. Again, I'm not trying to recommend these as like, oh, you gotta have them or anything. They are purely messing around. Like, as I said, I mean, I messed around with them in the live stream. That's why I just wanted to test them out tonight. But I didn't really do a lot on the game tonight because I was just tidying up. While I'm doing the live stream, I kind of abandoned trucks and trailers all over the place rather than, yeah, having half the live stream of me just returning trailers. So I was tidying up after myself tonight a little bit, and then, as I said, just started messing around with these. Long story short, it was a pain in the ass climbing up this hill, mostly because the loaf was starting to wheelie. This hill is a bit awkward though for a lot of trucks. For some reason it's really, like, it holds you back a lot, but whatever, like I said, it's not the most refined of loafs at the minute. But so anyway, sent in the Iceberg. The reason I got the metal beams as cargo is just while I was at the Cargo Creation Zone, I had to actually create some cargo, and I thought, sod it, the metal beams are definitely going to come in handy, so I did them, and then yeah, like, it just sort of developed into, I may as well do this railway bridge mission while I'm at it. This was my plan though, to flip it all in one, get the loaf parked sort of behind it so it'll keep the metal beams in the trailer, hoover him up with the Iceberg, and to be honest I was pretty happy. It even landed on top there, jumped into this loaf, tried to see if it'd offer me packed truck, but I reckon if I was on a more level surface once I was flipped, that loaf probably would have stayed on there. But yeah, it was a nice little try, but it worked. The main thing I wanted to do was kind of flick the cargo back in. And I, as well, just to throw it out there, I forgot to pack the cargo in the trailer. I don't think it really makes much difference or anything, but I was just saying that. I only kind of realised that now. I'll explain why you'll see later on. And yeah, at that point I just pulled the loaf up the top of the hill, and then yeah, that's when I was like, well, I may as well stick a trailer on the old Iceberg, go and get another 2 metal beams, and then yeah, do the railway bridge mission, which needs 4 metal beams and 2 lots of concrete slabs. Fortunately, I assume it's on every playthrough because I've not really done a lot on this, but there's 2 concrete slabs at the train station, so I could build them here as well. And when I got there I thought, oh, maybe I could have brought an 8-slot trailer and kind of just got them all in one, but it doesn't really matter. The little trip to the train station was not too bad from the railway bridge. Well, I actually found a very sort of direct, easy route there. From the bridge, anyway. Yeah, again, I mean, I like motoring around with the Iceberg. It gets the job done, plenty of power. It's just a good counter to the over-trollish map segments that they've dialed up, like the super snow, the super mud. When I just cut across that river, this thing wasn't hammering over there like it defies the laws of physics. It just had a nice, comfortable pace going over the river, and that's where, like, there is areas where this does feel overpowered, but in some cases you have to go looking for them. Like, this thing would probably climb up those rocks to my right, but I'm only gonna achieve that if I attempt that. So if you don't attempt a lot of unrealistic things. It won't do unrealistic things for you, if that makes sense. But for situations like this, I don't feel like this is overpowered. It's just, well, as you can see, it's even starting to slow down a bit. I dropped it into high-low in the end because I think there is some kind of little grip, either a grip bonus in the low ranges or a grip cost in the high range. Yeah, it's better than going like 1 mile an hour all the way across here, because it's of no excitement or value, and this just kind of cuts out the ultra slow segments of the map, really. And because of the way it's geared and everything, and it doesn't Jeff special and go tearing off at 200 mile an hour, yeah, it doesn't really feel overpowered when you're just driving down a road. It just drives comfortably and normally. So like I said, unless you really kind of pushing it and sending it to unrealistic limits, it's not doing that for you day to day. It's just like, I think in that sense it works out as a very nicely balanced truck. Yeah, long story short, I wouldn't really want to run cargo with that Spider Loaf. We'll call that one Spider Loaf because it's got 8 wheels. It's pretty good though. I didn't know that they had different versions. I just heard there was bigger tyres in the Max Scout Pack or whatever it's called. But yeah, like I said, there is different versions. I've not looked through all of them, so I don't know if there's like 3 different versions for each Scout. Stuff like the Tatron, for example, that's 8-wheel to begin with. I don't know if there'll be like a monster truck 4-wheel version of it, but maybe there's a monster truck like 8-wheel version, I'm not sure. But yeah, like I said, if with a little bit of messing around, pick the right weighted front bumper for it and all the rest of it, I think it'd sit pretty balanced, and even when you're towing. It's got a lot of choice of engines. In a way, I was thinking about, like, there was a lot of engines, it's like, oh, it's just a lot of engines to scroll through, but then as I was looking through tonight, I suppose the cool thing is, I believe they've offered every engine in the game that you can get in every other truck in the game, so I suppose whatever your preference is, whatever your favourite truck is, you can get that exact engine and put it in the Loaf. Yeah, so in that sense, I suppose the freedom of it, the way they've just unlocked everything, the gearboxes, again, I believe it let you have, like, all the Scout versions, all the truck versions, all, like, the Advanced Special, those lot of, like, fine-tuned multi-purpose, etc., so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty sort of free. And like I said, overall, there's the monster truck Loaf, which has got 4 massive tyres. I used that a little bit on the stream. Again, it was just a bit unrefined, so I didn't use it a lot. We just had a quick little go with it on the stream, and then yeah, it was just a bit too erratic and mad, really, to be testing on a live stream. But this 8-wheel one, because it's still got like smaller tyres and it sort of spreads its weight out, again, probably not the best thing for hauling cargo. I will say though, it does make a very good like rear end of the road train, because when you've got the winch from the front bumper to like the back of, say, then this, if this is the front of the road train, it kind of pulls the Loaf straight, so it sits with all its wheels on the floor. But yeah, just as you're weaving around on that, again, it stays very it's very good at like following the back of your trailer's line, so, and the weight of the Loaf like isn't being restrictive to where it's pulling my trailer in tighter on a tight corner or anything. So yeah, and I have to say, to its credit, I did roll it when I was on my own when I was coming up that hill earlier, but again, in a road train situation, there was a lot of things I bumped it over and all the rest of it, and there's something a little later as well, and yeah, it's pretty decent at not rolling, to be fair, in that situation. So it's not to say I'd never use it again. I mean, like I said, it certainly wouldn't be the front of a road train. There'd be no point. It isn't, yeah, it's not polished enough to be trying anything like that. Like this Iceberg, obviously, yeah, this makes an extremely good front of the road train because it's got great power, but it's not insane on its speed and all the rest of it. So overall, they were making a pretty good pay. You could even see there, then driving along, the orange Loaf behind me, like Spider Loaf, he was basically driving and bumping into my the Iceberg trailer. So as far as all that goes, like, I wasn't even putting any effort in towing him along. He was just holding his own. So it appears that it doesn't seem to be affected by that. You know, there seems to be like a towing speed limit, so if you're towing a truck behind you, it'll only let it go into probably like 3rd gear out of 8th or whatever with a high range. And yeah, it's always like, you're dragging a bit slow once you're in a road train situation where, like I said, along a flat smooth road there, that Loaf was basically pushing up against my Iceberg trailer, so yeah, it's moving its own weight, so as a road train that's extremely good, because it's still going to follow my winch as and when I turn and all the rest of it, but if it's kind of doing its own half of the road train and powering itself, then it's making life easier for for me at the front. That little section there, again, I mean, I've been through there before with cargo. It took me 4 minutes to cross. This, I believe, was more in the region of like 30-40 seconds or something. So yeah, just that's what I mean. I mean, cutting through there, did that look overpowered? Like, I've seen stuff go quicker through there than this, but I just think this is actually like, yeah, I get why he's done what he's done, and I get why it feels overpowered in certain little areas, but overall, for like 95% of this thing's gameplay, as long as you're sticking to fairly normal things to begin with, is actually comes across feeling like well balanced rather than overpowered. And someone said the other day to me, like, what does it matter? Once you're going for mods, you may as well go for it as overpowered as possible. I get what they're saying to a degree, but I also get other people, like, some people don't want crazy overpowered stuff. I don't all the time, and I've not done loads of missions with this, because it's certainly, yeah, because of how good and well balanced and rounded and all the rest of it is, it is basically easy mode for a lot of the missions, but yeah, I don't know, just for, in general, I mean, this is my second playthrough. I've already completed all these missions on my vanilla playthrough anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I've already attempted the game challenge, completed it at what the game intended, and yeah, doing stuff like this, it's just good fun to sort of then have an easy mode of the mission, really. I'm doing the same mission, but instead of it being a bit of a slow, tough grind and all the rest of it, this just makes it enjoyable to where you don't really have to put a lot of head thought into the mission. You're just kind of enjoying the scenery, enjoying the drive, and yeah, that's about it. I was just throwing out, yeah, when I looked at that mission, it was doing that thing again where it wouldn't let me see it. You have to like back off it and hold square down and switch to like the warehouse menu thing instead. Just mentioning it because it might catch a couple of people out, as it did with me. Yeah, that's 2 out of 2 beams. Oh, sorry, 2 out of 4 beams done. And then this is why I was saying I forgot to pack those things, because I went here, I was like, oh no, it's not gonna accept them. Then I noticed that there was a gap between them, and I was like, hang on a minute. And yeah, at this point, I was thinking, when the hell did that unpack? But like I said, just as I was recording this now, I suddenly realised like, I didn't pack it when I flipped myself earlier. So anyway, stage 1 of the bridge done. And yeah, like I said, good little rear of the road train so far. So for the next bit though, I need 2 lots of concrete slabs. I'm going to set off with the Iceberg. The yeah, spider loaf. Like I said, good rear of the road train, but probably not not the best independent cargo hauler yet. Still need to test a few more things, like I said, bumpers, different trailers that sit a bit more flush, etc. Overall though, that was a pretty good match, the trailer, like the off-road one it had. Sits quite nice and high, it's about as level as most of them were going to get. Although that trailer that appeared right at the beginning of the video, I can't remember what they call it, but it's basically like a gooseneck, like a 3-slot wide boy gooseneck thing. That worked pretty well, like the whole gooseneck thing sitting on top, so if you could equip this, and again as well, I'm just throwing out there this max scout pack. I'm obviously messing around with the loaf because yeah, I like my horse, so they're the ones I'm going to be messing around with, but there's plenty of other scouts that are going to have all these kind of similar options, I would have thought. So, well, if that's got an 8-wheel, a spider loaf, then I would have thought there'll be a spider Don, a spider Hummer, and all the rest of it. So, yeah, whatever scout you prefer, there might be a couple of different versions that, I mean, yeah, you can try it and see for yourself. The good news is the max scout pack appears to have a very low requirement of that RAM space that you need, because I was able to turn it on even when I've got all these other mods turned on. So yeah, that's another good one that's kind of on the list. I was going to say you could use the mouse or something, max scout pack. I don't know why I have so much trouble saying that. With the new like gooseneck set of trailers, like I said though, it won't let me turn them on unless I turn just about every other mod off. Yeah, concrete slabs, it appears. Oh yeah, this place just has unlimited concrete slabs then, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, again, I mean, it's just it's me. I was bringing the loaf for me. At the minute, I kind of flick it a bit hard there, so as it sort of tail whips down, I wedge the back end on the floor pretty good. If I went a bit slower dropping off the back there, I would have just been able to reverse off, but fortunately there was a winch. I only left this bit in though because I stuck a winch to the iceberg just while I was getting off, and the iceberg didn't move, and I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. I jumped in it now. I am not touching the trigger. I hit the handbrake there, and I let the handbrake off. That's driving on its own, and then it randomly... I don't think that's specific to this iceberg either. I've had it happen in like normal in-game trucks and mod trucks. It's been happening more recently. I assume because they're doing like background patches and updates and things to the game in preparation for this Phase 4, which kind of lets me know that Phase 4 should be here pretty soon. Somebody said that hopefully this week it's coming out. And yeah, I could probably see that because every other time with Phase 1, 2 and 3, in like the week or so before they released it, there was just random little bugs that I was getting in my gameplay. And it's usually a sign that they're sort of tinkering with things behind the scenes. Like I said, kind of possibly slipping certain bits of code in, yeah, in preparation for this Phase 4, really. So as well, just as a possible heads up, you might want to, if you've got loads of trucks left out on your maps or anything, now's the week you probably wouldn't recover them, because yeah, last time was it oh no, is it, or it was halfway between Phase 2 and Phase 3, I think, where they did the mod update, or was it Phase 2 or Phase 3, I can't really remember. One of the updates anyway wiped a lot of people's trucks out, so yeah, recover now to avoid disappointment. It's like that loaf tower I had on Grainwoods River, where I had 3 loafs stacked on top of each other. I was going to go for loaf number 4, but I might leave it there for a while after I'm done. So I recovered them all the other day, because I'll just wait for this Phase 4 update just in case, because I will not be impressed if I lose my tower loaf and a colob to some bug of the game. And again as well, I've heard with the money glitch, that might be getting patched, so cash in now to avoid disappointment. Equip and sell your engine at the same time for that one. And yeah, this little shortcut here from the bridge to the train station and back, as you can see, is about as direct as you're going to get. Down the hill, follow the train tracks, and double back on myself. I think there I got caught on something, so I reckon had I not got caught, I think this would have got up there in high. But high-low, pretty much impossible to stall, so it's concrete slabs, a little glitch there, but fortunately it didn't glitch this little animation. Bridge done. It's another one in the bag. At least with these missions on these maps, the payout's pretty decent. It's about 15 grand for that. That would have been about, what, 3 grand or something if it was on probably one of the Michigan maps for the exact same mission. But yeah, that's it was good. Good little drive around. I was just showing you as well when I turn it around now. It's near enough like 180 under its own trailer. It was wiggling around, it wasn't happy about it. However, that's about as tight a turning circle as you're going to get when it can literally 180 on itself. I remember seeing on YouTube or a video a while ago though, there was like a Volkswagen Beetle with a gooseneck camper, like caravan trailer, and that could 360 under the gooseneck bit, and so it was like really easy to park. Another random thing, as I was coming into the garage, even as the rear road train, it didn't cut into the corner and catch the lamppost, and that is rare you can actually get a road train around that corner, but see, the loaf is a goddamn horse of a vehicle, he figured it out. So anyway, this was the one that I had in yesterday's live stream that I drove to here, and it wouldn't let me put any logs on it, and I wanted to try this, but I didn't want to try it live because, like I said, it might have been 5 minutes odd of messing around to not even work. So I loaded some logs on with the Azov 7330, and yeah, it wouldn't let me, but I did see one of those little lights, those dots, was green. One of the rare times the crane actually just worked how I'd like it to work. Grabbed all 3 logs, scooted them back a bit. There's lines across the roof of the loaf, and if the front of the logs are about level with the first line, or about level with the mushroom snorkel, and then as you can see all 3 dots were green, and it let me pack it. So what I did, I don't know how much it helps, because I've not tested it yet, but I reversed the trailer, or I actually drove forward, but I've put the trailer on that hill, so it actually sat my, like, both those log carrier bits, the front and rear, were kind of roughly level then. Loaf, I mean, I think it's on Broadway. Like, there's no business like loaf business. Yeah, I mean, he's looking pretty good. He's realising his dream. He's wanted to be a logging loaf for a while, and he's made it. He's finally done it. And again, I mean, it's a pretty silly, ridiculous mod. Not trying to sell it as in, like, it's some serious, seriously needed game feature. But nonetheless, I got logged up, set off. I just thought I'll see while I'm at it, see how it does. Again, it's erratic and a bit, like, I wouldn't want to drive it myself when it's fully loaded with logs. But you see there, catching it on that post pretty hard, and it still didn't tip. And normally, for most things, that'd be a death sentence. If you catch your wheel on something solid that ain't going anywhere, it just like automatically flicks you over. Whereas, yeah, that actually handled it pretty well. And again, if you're messing around, like, I'll be experimenting a little bit, but putting a heavier bumper on the front, I don't think it'd wheel where it was doing like the little Broadway bit. So, but yeah, I was pretty happy with it. We managed to go logging, so that's another tick on the list for the old loaf. And as well, I wouldn't mind trying that Rhino soon, a version of the Club. I've heard quite good things about that, so I might do a video on that tomorrow. But yeah, that's about it for today though. It was pretty good. Like I said, the loaf realised his dream of being a logging loaf. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my Patreon members. Get yourself a loaf, of course, and I'll be back soon.